Hi, I'm Jean Schweid from the Groton Public Library, and today we're taping at your library, and I am the hostess today, which is a little bit different because our normal hostess, Barbara Clarke-Greene, is retiring, and so today Barbara is the subject of our television show at your library. Hi, Barbara.
Hi. You're not going to be mean to me during the interview, are you?
No. We're just going to talk about, your years as the host and your years as a librarian here.
Okay.
First of all, how long have you been doing at your library? How long have you been the hostess?
I don't honestly know the year, but I think it's like 15 or 16 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I wonder what the library is going to do without you.
They'll figure something out.
I hope so. So this show at your library, which focuses on the library and all the services we provide and the programs we're having, you've done tons of shows about every imaginable topic.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think is the most fun at your library that you've done?
I like doing, okay, there's two categories. I like doing author interviews, and I also like when I go to the beach, usually with Kathleen, and we book talk summer reading. Books, not summer reading for kids, but just books that people might want to read during the summer.
Oh, and you like going to the beach and talking about books. I can understand that. That would be fun. So, who makes the best kind of guest, or who's the easiest kind of person to interview?
Someone who likes to talk a lot. because then you don't have to worry about filling up the time.
Well, I guess that means this is going to be an easy program for me.
Oh yeah, because I love to talk a lot.
That's good. I know you've interviewed a lot of authors, both well-known authors and local authors, both. Who are some of the best or the most enjoyable authors that you've hosted on at your library?
Well, of course, my sister, Janice Clark, who, her first novel, The Rathbones, I interviewed her about that during a book club meeting.
And that book was interesting because it's all about Noank.
Yeah, it's about a whaling family in Noank. And then, of course, Wally Lamb.
Yeah.
That was pretty memorable. He is so nice.
Yeah, he's a great guy, so down to earth.
And then the other one that sticks out in my mind is maybe because I was sick with bronchitis and I dragged myself in because I wanted to interview these authors. The year that we did for the one book, a different book for each age level, one for adult, one for teens, one for children, and they were based on fairy tales. The adult one was Louise Murphy's The True Story of Hansel and Gretel. The teen one was Briar Rose by Jane Yolen, and the children's was also Hansel and Gretel, illustrated by Paul Zielinski. So I got to interview Paul Zielinski, Jane Yolen, and Louise Murphy all in the same show. I just told them not to shake hands with me because I was contagious.
Yeah, that was a very interesting year for the one book, one region.
Yeah, that was fun.
True Story of Hansel and Gretel was quite compelling.
I loved it.
Yeah, there have been a lot of great one book, one region.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Books. That's so. Well, I want to know how you got the job as the hostess of At Your Library.
I was kind of tricked into it.
Sounds familiar.
The way it happened was it was presented to the librarians on staff as, well, we need somebody to do this show about the library called At Your Library, and just temporarily until we find a permanent host for the show. And I said, well, I had already filmed like classes about the internet and stuff, so I was used to being in front of the camera, and everybody else was like, no, not me. So I said, okay, I'll do it until you find somebody else. Well, there was no finding anybody else.
I guess you did a pretty good job then, if you've done it for the last. Whose idea was this show, anyhow, At Your Library? Where did that come from?
I don't really know whose idea it was.
our AV Sean Greeley's idea.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he was looking for more work to do.
But I think it was a great idea because, you know, it does give us a chance to showcase all the services we provide,
Right.
all the programs that are going on that are, of course, free and fun to come to. So it's a chance to toot our horn a little bit.
Yeah, and I think we need to do that so that more people are aware of all the variety of things that we do here.
Yeah. Well, I know you've been the hostess of At Your Library for 15 years. Just, do you want to divulge how long you've been a librarian here?
Oh my God. Officially or unofficially?
Well, let's do the unofficial.
Okay, unofficially, I got my first job with the Groton Public Library when I was 16. I'm not even going to say what year that was, but it was a long, long time ago, and I kept that job for a couple of years until I found a more lucrative summer job because I was in college at that point, and then I just kept popping up again. When Southeastern Connecticut Library Association had their office here when this library first opened, as opposed to the old library where Human Services is now, I worked for them, and then I was like on the substitute list for librarians here, and when they first opened on Sundays, Gretchen Hammerstein asked me if I wanted to be the Sunday supervisor. So I did that for a while. And then, you know, I went off and got a different job as the school librarian at Wheeler in North Stonington. But I came back again. Yeah. I just kept coming back. But officially, as far as, you know, like a regular job, a union job here, I've been here since 1988.
Yeah. Well, I've been here not quite as far back as you, but we've been working together for a long time.
Yes. Remember when I was temporary head of special services back in
1985, I think.
Yes, because my son Sean was 3. And you were in that department. Ann Campbell was in that department.
Wonderful teen librarian, yeah.
And so all 3 of us have known each other since then. It's been a really long time.
Grown up together, really, in a way. And you mentioned Gretchen, you know, Gretchen Hammerstein, and so many people remember her. And she gave so many librarians a chance to get started and mentored all of us. Wonderful, wonderful lady. Yeah, great librarian.
Half the staff here wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
And fostered a real interest in librarianship and the profession. So she was a wonderful person. So, boy, I know, thinking back on the years we've worked together, librarianship has changed so drastically over 30 years here.
Definitely.
So much. Like, what are some of the things that have changed that you can think of?
Well, when I first started here back in the dark ages, we didn't even have computers.
That's right.
And now we do everything on them. The questions that you get typically have changed a lot over the years, except possibly if you're a children's librarian, which I started out as here. Maybe the questions are very much the same. But at the adult desk, I mean, we used to have to do in-depth research. We were like the knowledge people, right? We still are, but the information is disseminated in a different way now. Everything is online. People think they know how to do their own searches because they Google it, which is, you know, a good way to start. But you have to know how to sift through all the information. And when we first started in reference here, we had tons of huge reference books, and some of the librarians specialize in doing dialogue searches on, you know, the computer and stuff. And now who needs that? Yeah, right.
Yeah, well,
it's changed
so much. Reference books. We have very few reference books. I mean, remember books in print to find what a title and a publication date and perhaps the author. had to go to this big set of books. And if somebody didn't have the title quite right or the author quite right,
you couldn't find it.
Well, maybe you could find it. Now, that would take an hour maybe.
You can do keyword searching.
Keyword searching now. So.
And yeah, everything has changed. It's not like you're not finding the information, and a lot of the resources that we used to buy, great big reference books, are available online, so you can get online subscriptions to them, or databases or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's way different than it used to be.
Same concept.
Same concept,
but different way of getting the information. Much easier. Reader's Guide to Periodicals. That's certainly a thing of the past.
And we spend a lot more time helping people with technology now.
Oh, yes.
Because that is how people get their information, and they need to know how to operate the...
And we've had to learn so much about technology that we might not have learned, really. So we could discuss a little more about, the technology aspect of the job. We're going to take a short break right now, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about how our librarianship and how it's changed, and then I'm going to ask you about some of your favorite books. And
okay.
That'll be fun too. So.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Get on top of it before they do. Every 24 minutes, tipped furniture or a falling TV sends an injured child to the emergency room. Preventing tip-over incidents is easy, inexpensive, and only takes 5 minutes. Learn how to secure your furniture and TVs to protect children at anchorit.gov.
Welcome back to At Your Library. Today we're interviewing Barbara Clarke-Greene, who's been the hostess of At Your Library for the last 15 years, and she's retiring very soon. So we wanted to have a final conversation with Barbara about her years at the library. And we were just talking about technology and how it's really changed our jobs at the library. And I kind of had this memory of our first personal computer in the library for the public. Remember the
Yes.
the Apple IIe?
With the little coin, like tokens that you put in to operate it.
The people would have to buy tokens for 15 minutes or a half an hour. You'd insert the token, and the personal computer, Apple would come on, and the big old floppy disks.
Yes.
Put that in to save your work. And so that was how we started our introduction to the world of technology. And we do a lot of that now, don't we?
Oh yeah, like hop from one computer to another all day long.
Even though we might necessarily know or want to know a lot about technology, we have to. We have to stay up with the times and be able to help people. So many people, I think you assume that so many people are completely savvy about computers, but that's really not true.
No, it's not true. And it's really difficult to navigate our contemporary world if you don't have some computer skills. So And we've learned most of, I don't know about you, but I've learned almost all of mine on the job.
All of it on the job.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I got a personal tablet so I could help people. I got a better phone than I probably normally would have, so we get so many questions about even phones, how to use the phone, how do you do this on the settings, and that's all been unusual but good, I think.
Sometimes, if you know the answer to the question they're asking.
We get everything about, could you, what's wrong with my email? Why can't I print this? Why is my email not showing up correctly? Do you know how to do this certain technique on Word? Or
how do I attach a file and email it? How do I scan a file and email it? How do I, it's just because people really, those are things that you need to know.
Why is Word single spacing? I want it double spacing.
Yes.
Or, do you know how to enter data into Excel? I mean, it's everything and anything. No.
We can't know everything, really. We try, though.
Try to get people started. Even how do you get on the Connecticut DMV website? I need to update my registration.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
Yeah. Everything can be done online.
Or applications to Big Y.
Or job applications, yeah.
All online.
Almost everything is online. So people really need to develop those skills.
And if they're just if they're a little bit older or they're changing careers, they may not have that background. So we try to give a hand when we can.
As always, we try to help people with their information needs. It doesn't matter what the vehicle is for transmitting that information. That's what we do.
That's right.
We provide information.
So that's, again, how our job has changed to some degree, which is providing information about technology, maybe not about something a little more traditional. So.
Oh, you mean like Reader's Advisory, which is
a
traditional librarian skill.
Well, that is a tradition. Reader's Advisory. Now, let's jump into that because that's something that you just love to do and have really created a little niche for yourself here. We call you the Reader's Advisory expert, and that's still very much in need. And you've been you've created that role. We all turn to you. Oh, Barbara, this person likes such and such an author. What other authors might they like? So that's still a very needed thing.
Yeah, I think it's a good mission for libraries because it's not like when you go on Amazon and it says people who bought this book also bought this book. There's actual people involved who are analyzing what you like, what you don't like, and thinking, oh well, you might like this, you might like that. It's a personal thing. It's like personally not even recommending, suggesting books to people that they might enjoy, and people do look for that because like you run out of something good to read. I can't imagine that myself, but say you read all your favorite series that are out and you're looking for something else that will capture your interest or entertain you. We can do that. We can find something for you.
And I think people enjoy having personal conversations about that. I think it's very intimidating to walk into the library, you want a good book to read, and you look at the round, there's books everywhere. Where do you start?
Exactly.
And you might remember, oh, I read once this book and I really enjoyed it. And so that's still a very vital part of our jobs.
I think it's an important part because it adds that personal touch.
Yeah. And people definitely are looking for that. And along with the Reader's Advisory, you developed started our book club here at the library.
Yes, I did.
Which has been very vibrant and has gone on for how many years now?
18 years.
Wow. And you just had your very last book club meeting. Mm-hmm. That was sad.
It is sad because I have a core group of people that come, and I've gotten to know them over the years. Some of them have been coming for almost as long as I've been doing the book club. And so it's like we're just friends talking about books, and so it's very relaxed and, easy and fun.
Yeah, that's going to be something. I know that the people in your book club are going to really miss you, and we'll try to carry on. I don't know. We probably won't be quite the same, but we will try to carry on with the book club for sure.
Well, that's a natural thing for libraries to do too. So
yeah,
everybody has a different style, so I don't think it really matters who's the moderator of the book club, because everybody brings their own, viewpoints, and it makes it interesting.
Yeah, that's true. And as you'd mentioned to me at one time, that this group has been together a long time, so they almost run the book club themselves.
Yeah,
they have their own conversations.
Yeah, you don't really need to be too. You don't have to prompt them that much, let me put it that way. Occasionally, new people are welcome to come, and they do. And depending on what books you're reading, you might attract people just because of that one book. But because the other people in the club are so nice, newcomers don't feel like they're outside at all, I don't think.
The newcomers are always welcome. So,
Yeah.
well, we don't have too much more time, but I know that you're a really big fiction reader.
Oh yeah.
Just quickly tell me some of your favorite books that you've read, either from a long time ago or even more recently.
Well, the funny thing is, the things I've read that a long time ago stick out in my head more than things I've read recently, and I think that's because I read so much and I've gotten so picky that it has to be really incredible to be memorable if it's come out in the last, even 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
The book that I have to say I'm constantly advocating for and stands out most of my mind is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, because I read that when I was in high school, and I've read it several times since, and it still speaks to me. And every time I read it, I see something a little different in it. And it started me on the path to reading what I like to call creepy Gothic books.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think when you're a young adult too, you're much more, maybe more impressionable, or things stick with you more at that age, so they really stand out. I have the same feeling about certain books, things that I read in my youth really have an impact.
And some of the other ones that still stick out in my mind are, of course, Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell, because how could that not stick in your mind? And The Mists of Avalon, which is a female-oriented version of the Arthurian legend, and I am obsessed with the Arthurian legend. I don't know why, I just am. Also, Possession by A.S. Byatt, which is a kind of like a literary treasure hunt kind of book, which also appeals to me a lot, that kind of book. Fanny by Erica Jong, which is just like a super fun historical novel with tons of adventures of the character of Fanny Hackabout Jones, sort of like a pastiche of, like the 18th century adventure novel. It's really fun. And then more recently, what sticks out in my head from the last couple of years anyway is The Queen of the Tearling and the rest of the series by Erica Johansson, which is just a really fabulous fantasy. And I never used to like fantasy or get into it, but there are so many good fantasy writers now, especially teen.
Yes.
Well, I mean, young adult authors that are fantasy authors are fabulous.
Yeah.
They create such incredible words.
Well, and they have to tell the story quickly. Well, we just have about a minute left, Barbara. And so, what do you think you're going to be doing during retirement?
A lot of stuff.
Reading.
I'm going to be reading, catching up my reading list. I'm already running another book club in Westerly. at the Savoy, which is the new bookstore in West Shirley,
Wonderful.
Bank Square Books.
Yeah, wow.
And I'm also planning on traveling a lot. I already
Wonderful.
have like, I don't know how many, and just relaxing and catching up on all the stuff I haven't had time to do. Eventually, I'll probably get involved with the Friends of the West Shirley Public Library.
Nice,
And,
very nice.
you know, so I'll be busy.
Well, we're all going to miss you terribly here because you've done just about everything in one way or another here, and you're my dear coworker and friend for 30 years, and I know most of us on the staff feel that way, and it's going to really be a big change when you leave. So thank you. Thank you for your years of service and your years as hostess of At Your Library.
It's been my pleasure. I mean, I'm going to miss all the people I work with are incredible. You can't get a more intelligent, multi-talented group of people together. It's been fun working here. I'll miss it, but it's time for me to start a new chapter.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you so much. We'll miss you so much.
I'll miss you too.
We do have a great staff.
Yes, we do. But it's been a fun ride.
Yeah.